We're back at it again with another over review is now what I'm calling it. Like an overall reviewing the overall. But before we start, we have a new member of the team. My brother brought this for me. I'm not sure if he actually watches my content, but if you do, love you, bro. We're just gonna put him back here with the other one. Yeah, we're keeping the Goomba like that, by the way, because my son was over at work and he thought it was cute. Anyway, so I'm going to tell you all about your start in the Cursed Kingdom. We're going to do the same thing as last time and quickly recap the start of the game so you know what to expect going into it. Let's get it. The Cursed Kingdom is a 2D top-down adventure game that feels similar to older Legend of Zelda games. It's made by a small team, so it is lacking some game juice. But despite the title of the video, and it definitely being inspired by Legend of Zelda, it doesn't feel like a clone. And honestly, I'm not sure if that's better or worse. Before we do anything though, we're actually met with a warning screen, which we completely ignore because we're gamers. We actually start our journey together being asleep and oh so rudely interrupted by one of the king's soldiers. He asks us to very urgently go talk to the king, which ends up being quite superfluous, but I'll explain that in a second. Heading outside of your backwater hovel, you'll see a lot of the standard 2D adventure game stuff. Rocks and bushes you can break for money and random chests out in the open. I don't know who's leaving their stuff around, but I wish they'd do that for me. We can't even check out most of this stuff though because we have to go speak to His Highness. So we're gonna skip ahead to the throne room because you're railroaded pretty hard into it. The king talks about the story a little, but not really, and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of boring. And then you get your sword, and that's really it. He definitely could have had this delivered to your home with a sticky note on it. I feel like you could have just brought the sword to me at my home, but whatever. The game also forces you back into your home and expects you to kill some enemies and head straight to the king, but we're not gonna do that. Why? Well, at this point, you're right next to the dungeon already. You'll find slimes, and you'll see definitely not cuckoos that you can't do anything with. Now, instead of talking to the king, we're going straight into the first dungeon because, as I said, it's literally on the way. It's like in your way. I thought of showing the dungeon, but we're gonna cut it up to the boss, so I don't waste your time and spoil it if you do want to play. The boss is pretty simple. Okay. I died. That's so embarrassing. Ooh, ignore that and goes to sleep when you defeat him. Now, this is probably the biggest gripe I have with the game. When you defeat a boss, or you do certain quests or whatever, you're given these orbs and you need 3 of them to either increase your health or increase your damage. Not even a full heart. Not an automatic damage upgrade or anything. This seems like a cool departure from some of the games they might have taken inspiration from, but it makes everything you do feel way less significant. When you defeat a boss, you don't get a boost. You get a piece of a boost. And you can't use that boost or piece until you get 2 more. I understand why they did this, but I think it would have been way better if they stuck with like full hearts and then maybe added more items or something. I don't exactly know, but I just know this doesn't feel good. Okay, moving on from the rant. Let's skip ahead and past this dude with a shovel you can get because I never use it meaningfully anyway. Sometimes along your path you'll run into these hooded creature guys, which are actually really cool, but if you do their quests, guess what? You only get a shard. See what I mean? Doesn't feel very good. Next, you'll step into the city with people to talk to and houses to see, but not really. We're gonna skip all of it because nobody says anything important, and the only cool place in the city is what looks like a city, but you can't buy anything from it at the start anyway. Finally, make it to the king and miss any dialogue from before the dungeon because it was literally right at the start. It's honestly fine because he just tells us to talk to another guy who would tell us to talk to another guy and so on. There is a lot of that. After all the uninteresting talk, we're told to speak to the northern chieftain who will tell us to talk to someone else. By the way, the only thing you will find that's interesting on your way to the northern chieftain is this really cool sandcastle. It looks really cool, but too bad. Plus, this next part of the game is the worst part, I swear. On our way, we run into just a small tease of the main puzzle gimmick of the beginning of the game, minecarts, and I hate them. There's also a desert, but it's boring, so we're gonna mainly skip it. And you'll be greeted with a lovely and huge minecart maze. I almost quit here because even though the puzzle doesn't take super long, it is torturous. I don't know what would have been better or if you could have made these better, but this definitely ain't it, chief. Once you do get to the chieftain, he does the same thing as everyone else in the game to progress and makes you go talk to someone else. After more Minecraft puzzles, his wife Joanna will tell you where to go, which is backtracking to the desert. go to the desert, solve the puzzle, get a lamp, bring it all the way back again through the minecart mazes, and finally get it blessed. So you can go all the way back through a forest to get to the only actual interesting lore. Before I show you the good lore, I did find a farm tucked away that needs bombs to clear rocks so the farmer can reach his vegetables. I wasn't able to do that. I mean, I could have, because I didn't have enough bombs when I found it, and I was getting really tired of running around. So no vegetables for us. At least that would make Al proud. Now we're finally at the end where we actually get some juicy, cool lore and dialogue. Basically, after discovering some random old guy, which is actually your great-grandpappy, tied to a satellite dish as a sacrifice to maintain the seal on evil. He's dying and needs you to go feed Mr. Big Bad and take his place on the dish. No thank you. This is actually really cool, and I love the way they approached this. Honestly, I think it took way too long to get to this point. And it would have been really nice if they hit us with just like a little bit of that in the beginning, so this whole thing didn't seem like an empty chore. After this really cool surprise, you get the ability to fast travel around, and it's also a really cool system. Instead of just picking a place to warp to, you have to walk through this cool overworld, like you're traveling through dimensions. It reminded me of Chrono Trigger's like out of time area. I don't remember what it's called. And I don't know why they literally have all of this cool stuff like an hour and a half into the gameplay, because these are really awesome ideas. There was a little after that point where I found a place with some cool purple miasma that hurts you. But we're gonna skip that because I wanna put the script down and give you my honest opinion. Okay, so this was made by a small team, which is fine. And that creates a bit of a difficult dialogue in terms of reviewing. This game is lacking a lot of game juice, and it doesn't have a lot to catch you in the beginning or interest you. And now I could have been grumpy while I was playing it or writing this script, but a lot of the really cool stuff they have in the game takes like too long to get there. For the price that they're asking for it, feels like a lot of maple syrup drops to me. Now, I'm not saying it might not be worth your time for like a 2D Legend of Zelda style game, and I don't like to make those kind of comparisons. Clearly, their inspiration came from that kind of genre, but I can say that it won't be a waste of time to at least try it if it's on sale. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our short little journey together into the Cursed Kingdom. Let me know what you thought of this short recap and what you think about the game. You don't have to have played it to give your opinion on how it looks, because that's very important too, especially for the developers. They probably won't see this anyway. It'd be cool if they did. If they do, you can comment, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Crane game, just step with the machine plate. Okay. Come on. Yep, go. Go, 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 go. Ah, gotcha.